Hi, and welcome to the most important podcast ever. I'm your host, Brian Dunn, and we've got a real treat for you this week. I'm very excited about it. Our guest is Diane Field. Diane, who I worked with, she was part of our in-house production crew where she was a director, and she was always just great to work with. She's popularly known as Lady Di. She's a distinguished etiquette expert, a former newspaper advice columnist, event and media producer. She's a Renaissance woman, is what she is for certain. She was recently featured in March of this year in the Star and Tribune on a nice piece about her lifelong passion for social graces and the work she's doing in passing those manners along to the next generation, which I have a keen interest in, and she's going to talk about that. And interestingly, she was inspired by her grandmother's formal dinner parties and the classic teachings of Amy Vanderbilt. So I think you're going to be thrilled to hear what Di has to say today. So Di, welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me to Alex.
Of course.
I love coming down 94.
Yep.
And it's just so fun to be able to talk about this subject
Yeah.
because there's so much to talk about.
Well, I can't wait to really jump into it. I also should thank you for making the drive up here. We rarely get an in-studio guest, and it's always great fun when we do.
Oh, so much to, in person.
Yeah.
So much fun.
For sure. And I'd like the record to show when Diane walked in, we all stood up. That'll come up later. Di, let's talk about how this all started.
Okay. So when I was young, when I was 5 years old, the first book I read was Amy Vanderbilt's Book of Etiquette. And it was really thick. It's a really thick book. And I wanted to go to furniture stores when my mother said, do you want to go to the toy store or the furniture store? I said, oh, I want to go to the furniture store. So I was always kind of interested in a little fancy. Also, language was really important growing up in my home. And my mother had an MBA in English. I graduated in speech communication with a minor in English. So communication was really important, and that ties directly into etiquette, manners, and dining decorum. Because on the surface, etiquette can seem kind of mundane. Is this really important? Is it about teaching how to fold napkins? What is a charger plate? Not necessarily. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. That's just a part of it.
Right. I know what a charger plate is. Isn't that the plate that goes underneath the plate?
Yeah. And it is so funny because I have to tell you, when I'm teaching in a restaurant or in a private room, I'll say, could you raise your hand if you have charger plates at home after I explain what it is? And depending on the class, all the kids will raise their hand. And I'm like,
wow.
That is, wow.
Yeah.
Other classes, not so much. So everyone grows up a little differently and has different experiences. So you just kind of lean into that.
Yeah. I think it's so much more than just nice to know, and I'm going to give you a compliment. When you would walk into the studio or to a room when we were discussing a project we were working on, you always had a presence. You had great command of yourself as you entered the room, in a confidence that I now understand even better, because you have that sense of style, that sense of grace.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. But I think it's so interesting. And do you think that flows from the manners and your interest in all that?
Definitely. I would consider myself a person with a lot of confidence. I don't question what I do. I usually don't need advice. And if I do, I answer it myself. Or, getting advice so often is just having someone listen to you.
Hmm.
And then at the end, they'll say, you know what? You answered your own question because you talked it through.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think that's really true.
I do too. In fact, I've just been doing some episodes, and one of the common themes is listening and how important listening is, whether you're listening to yourself in the example you just laid out, or you're listening to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that is so clearly embedded throughout what you're talking about here. And I think it is so often overlooked.
Absolutely, Brian. It's one of the things I focus on in my class, in my teachings. And I don't, when I have the kids together, and they're usually about 8 to 15. So it's a crazy age, and that comes with a lot of stories. But with that said, it's a crazy age group. And I don't focus on family dinners because I need their attention to listen. And 18 to 14-year-olds, what I focus on is we're going to your friend's house, we're going to your best friend's house, and you're going to sit down and have a family meal with another family.
I love that.
Because most kids didn't ask for this to sign up. So I and I always suggest things. I never tell them what to do. I suggest things. And I just want to make sure that these children aren't feeling like I have to do this at home. I have to do this for my parents. So I kind of take that out of the equation and we talk about friends and the value of listening and how much that makes your best friend feel so valued.
Mhm.
Therefore, you feel valued. And that's how I get their attention.
That's really interesting, the notion that you get value from them feeling valued.
100%.
I love that. I really love that. So you've started to go into it. Tell us about your courses. Tell us about your classes. How did you get started in all that?
Oh, it's really fun. I've always had an interest in etiquette. And my daughter, Katie, who you know, and my,
Lovely, lovely woman.
yeah, she is awesome. And then her husband, Luke Durheim,
Mm-hmm.
he is partners with a few others, owners of a restaurant group in Minneapolis, Craft and Crew. And they have
Didn't know.
about, 6 or 7 places.
Nice.
And so it was Christmas. We were down at Tulum in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking one day. He has kind of a different version than I do. And he gets a kick out of, the two of us, he calls me helicopter. I'm copter. He just calls me copter because I'm always going, can I suggest you do this with the kids or can I suggest that? So with that said, we're in Tulum. We're going to these family meals. And I said, okay, first thing we do is put our napkin in our lap because a lot of parents these days aren't necessarily teaching all these things to
Mm-hmm.
their kids and they don't really have an interest. That's what I'm finding when I go teach.
The parents or the kids?
The parents don't have an interest in teaching their kids. They want someone else to do it because they feel like they're nagging or just repeating things they've repeated so long. They want it to come from someone else.
Right.
So
right.
you got to put some fun elements in there too. So with that said, Luke and I were talking, and we were talking about getting people back to restaurants. 'Cause every restaurant has a party room,
Yeah.
whatever. And I said, well, what's going on in your party room on Saturday mornings? He goes, well, I think do you have any suggestions? I mean, there are things going on, right?
Of course. Of course.
But not all the time. And I said,
Right.
You should have some etiquette classes. He said, Oh my gosh, that is the most fantastic idea. I love it. Okay, when can we start? Because Luke is just boom, 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 boom.
Let's get it done.
And I said, 10 days after we're home, you'll have a proposal from me and an outline, and then I'll do a syllabus. And these restaurant people, they don't read anything. They're so busy.
Oh, yeah.
I just push send. No one reads my stuff because I'm so detailed. And it was before 10 days. And he goes, Okay, where is it? I need it now. I want to talk to the staff. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's great.
So then after that, he said, Okay, we're going to start on this date. And I was scheduled for quite a few classes. And with that, he said, he and Katie, I went over there one night. He said, Well, and I've never done this before. I've never taught this, but I just know I'm capable of doing it.
You've been teaching us all things for years.
Thank
Di.
you.
Just
Okay,
not
thank
getting
you.
credit for it, perhaps.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for the first class, Luke said, Well, Sharon Jackson is coming from the Star Tribune. I said, What? And he said, Yeah, this will be so, she's so stoked about it. She's so excited. And Sharon is an outstanding prose journalist. She's very good at what she does.
Okay.
She's been with the Tribune for 12 years. So I was a little, I shouldn't touch my mic. I was a little nervous, just knowing that, oh my gosh, I've never taught this class. I'm kind of practicing in my house, kind of, but I usually just speak extemporaneously. So I got to the restaurant about 6 hours before.
Wow. Wow.
And then the staff brought me things, but I set everything up. And I felt it was my responsibility anyway. And then suddenly these kids start coming in, and they were ages about 7 or 8. I think it was 8 to 14. And then she comes in the room. Then a photographer comes in the room. Then some of the marketing people from Craft and Crew are there. And it's flash, flash, flash.
And this is your first
class.
maiden voyage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I probably should have had a shot of something before I started that. Because seriously, it was a lot, yes. So there was so much chaos going on in the room that obviously I was a little nervous, and I just started out. And coincidentally, Sharon's son was also in the class.
Perfect.
So and honestly, thank goodness he was there. He was the best behaved child in the entire class.
Smart.
I mean, it was like, I'll bring him back. It was amazing. So it was a lot of pandemonium. And I just started talking, going through things like charger plates, napkins, where to place your napkin. And then I stopped and said, and I had to put some humor in there too. So when we're passing food around, I said, we're going to first practice saying, no, thank you, when I pass this empty platter around the room. And I'd say, would you like an old shoe? Would you like some dirty socks? Would you like some peas? And so then the kids themselves started making up their own thing.
Fun.
When they're passing it around. So you just have to ingest a little bit of that in there. And then after we did that, I said, there's another way to say thank you. No, thank you for asking.
Yes.
And that is my signature line. And it's often repeated at my son-in-law's.
I wonder if I got that from you, because that is something I say. No, thank you for asking.
Yes. Many people will say no, thank you for asking. No. but thank you for asking. There's usually not a but in there, but sometimes I do that. Just comes out. And there's just so many, and that's the power of using your words and communicating with people. And it's not about being heady. I am into linguistics, semantics, word choices. I'm into listening to someone's cadence and how they talk. So I speak to that a little bit with the kids and how your vocal quality is so important. And so when you really want to communicate with someone, learn how to use your voice to send that message.
So these sessions are much more than which fork to use, or
Yeah.
these are real life skills you're teaching these guys.
Yeah, I know. It's so awesome. And then when I grew up, we always had a vocabulary word at dinner every night, and it was polysyllabic. So, how many syllables? What is the pronunciation? Enunciate it correctly, and know the meaning and understand it, and say it in a sentence.
Mhm. Demonstrate your knowledge.
But that helped me build my vocabulary because my mother was just amazing in terms of using larger words.
Your vocabulary has always been noteworthy,
Oh,
and your precise use of the language has always been
well, thank you.
noticeable and noteworthy.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, so we had a lot of fun with that.
Was that a fun way to grow up? I'm sorry to interrupt. Was that a fun way to grow up?
It was kind of cool, and I didn't realize it though until I started, like, because my boyfriend in high school, he was in semantics class with me.
Okay.
So we were both really into let's learn all these words. But I noticed it more when people didn't understand what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So if I might say sometimes my daughter and Luke, so Katie and Luke, okay, what is that? Could you just speak in English? But honestly, it's not being put on, it just flows out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's how you grow up, that's how you learn.
I think if it's put on, you actually break down communication.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there's some words that just describe things great. So recently I teach the kids a new word every class. And I have it on a big poster board, spelled out. I walk around with it. And the last one was cacophonous. And we use it as an example because that's usually a combination of noises.
Mm-hmm.
So in a restaurant in particular, you've got bussing of dishes, knives and forks falling on the floor. The kids are loud. And I'll say, "Oh, it's so cacophonous in here, isn't it?" But they have fun because then they go tell their parents they learned a new word.
Yeah.
But it's not about learning big words. But I just have fun with that piece of it, and it's a small piece.
A small piece, perhaps, but sometimes the exact right word at the exact right moment makes a magnificent impression, doesn't it?
Yes, because certain words can really describe and define something that another
Yeah.
word just can't do. And so that's what I kind of enjoy about it.
I think it's so interesting. I have to tell you, too, you have a real impact on those around you. Right now, Diane has her glass of water on a coaster, and I didn't have my cup of coffee on a coaster, and I felt so self-conscious. I moved my coffee and put it on a piece of paper.
Oh my gosh.
there,
Well,
there is a certain drafting impact. There's a certain effect when somebody walks in with good manners and demonstrates them without being pretentious about it. I think it can have a real positive effect in bringing the whole level up.
thank you. Well, your staff is amazing.
Well,
And they've been waiting on me hand and foot. And
well,
thank you.
they're
So there a lot to do with this coaster.
how did people find out about the class?
Luke put it on his website,
Nice.
or I should say Craft and Crew. And this was at Duke's restaurant on 7, Duke's on 7. And before I taught my first class, another restaurant reached out to me. So they must have been doing some digging, because it was, you had to really look for this
Right.
under events, what's happening, and reached out to me in Facebook Messenger and said, "Oh, will you please come to my restaurant and do this?"
That's so great.
And so after I was done at Duke's, after about 3 months, then I went to Al and Alma's on Lake
The
Minnetonka.
charter people.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
charter boat people.
Yep.
So I met
Of
with
Love Boat fame. Of the Vikings Love Boat fame, which is a story for a different episode.
Oh, want to hear that. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a whole nother kind of group of kids. Everywhere you go, there's always different kids.
And do you think parents want the reinforcement of an outside voice about those things?
Yes, because there are parents who have said, I started with 2 classes, part 1, part 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I consolidated it all into 1 class. But when I was doing 2 classes, and then when I went down to 1, parents said, "Oh, we're repeating this." I said, "Well, it's going to be the same curriculum, because I'm now just doing it all in 1 part."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "That's fine." So to your point,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they want it so reinforced.
I think that's very hopeful for our future. I'm very
It is.
excited about that.
But boy, it's not easy.
I bet. I bet. And how many kids do you have in a class?
Initially I kept it to 15. I usually had 12.
Okay.
And then my last class at Al and Alma's, 20 had signed up. And I kind of went, but only 18 came, but it was primarily boys. So that's a whole nother thing too.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
mean,
interesting.
honestly, because boys, and I've discovered all these things too, because I haven't been parent to a young child for so many years.
Yeah.
So with the boys, I mean, it's just been my experience. There's a lot of shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
And how many cookies can I stuff in my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a cookie eating contest. And getting them to listen, pay attention. So you always have to kind of mix it up and be on your toes.
Yeah. Di, I can't think of a room that I've been in with you that you haven't had command of.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
no, I mean it. And I think what a great skill set for young men to have.
It's so great. Another woman contacted me and said, "Oh, my son is a senior in high school, and all these boys, we want to get them lessons." And I said, "Well, I can set something up privately." And then she couldn't get everyone together, but the need is unreal. And then another group of parents said, "Oh, can we auction your services off at our private Catholic school?" And I said, "Absolutely." So I'm going to fulfill that next. So I'll
That's
be
great.
going to someone's home, and they're inviting a bunch of children over, because I want to give back too.
We're going to tag all the places where you can be reached, because I suspect there are a number of people that are going to be interested in.
It was crazy. People just feel like, "Oh my gosh, where's this been? Where can I get this done?" And there's some community colleges in the Twin Cities, not to mention just community services,
Mm-hmm.
where you can sign your child up, but they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, it was always a threat. My Nana and my mom would say, "We're going to send you to the cotillion." And I pictured this place, with dungeons and where we're going to teach you the manners you need. I think there's a need for adults.
Well, that's a good point. I like that you said that. And people have said that to me too.
Yeah.
And I say it to myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I throw parties. I love to host. I love connecting people together, and I love introducing people to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you observe so much around you. But at the same time, I'm not judgmental when it comes to my friends, what we do. But you just have kind of an extra eye on certain occasions.
I think if we have lunch at some point, I'll be very aware.
And the lady die when you think, where did that come from?
Right, right.
So when I got married, I married into somewhat of a prominent family. And there were 8 siblings. And the minute they met me, it was, oh, lady die. So in 1984, when Princess Diana was still alive,
Yes.
and I would wear the white dresses with the polka dots, just like she did.
Yeah.
And so that really came about from marrying into, getting married.
Yep.
I mean, my nickname was always Di or Di. And my closest friends call me Diane. But those are old friends.
Yeah, right.
So-
That it's so interesting. I bet the family loved that you came with all
Oh.
that interest.
Well, at the time, they were just grateful that their son found someone to marry. And they would all agree with that. And my former husband, he is deceased now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, but he would agree with everything I say.
If he knows what's good for him.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to talk a little bit about some of your pet peeves or common things you've had, and I've gathered some too, so I'd love to bounce some of those off.
Oh, that
you.
is so fun.
And you touched on one earlier that comes from my household. So let's say we're having Thanksgiving dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and you say to me, Brian, would you please pass the yams? I should A, pass you the yams directly or head them your way, or should I grab one off and put it on my plate and then pass it?
This is what usually happens. If someone says, can I please have the yams? Please help yourself first. So it's really the person. Yeah. So it's please help yourself first.
Oh, my sons are going to
Yes.
attack me for
Yeah.
this one.
Salt, pepper, butter, when everything's coming around the table,
Please help yourself first.
please help yourself first before you pass it.
So it's being polite in the asking.
Absolutely. Anticipating everything.
In my house growing up, that was a big cardinal sin. If you grabbed something for yourself before you passed it. And so that's how I taught my sons. So, and they look at me now like I'm ridiculous and grab one and pass it. So, so it's actually
Yes.
on me, fellas.
Yes, because when you're passing a platter or plate around the table, you should be holding it for the person next to you so they can help themselves. And when they're getting ready to reach for it, they might say, oh, please help yourself first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is the polite way to do it.
Okay, give me one of your pet peeves.
Well, not to sound too old fashioned, first I'm going to say, and I think this started out with men, and then I'll include women, of course. But when men don't stand up when you enter the room. So I'm going to say people now, because I think we've moved past that, segregation of men, women, whoever it is. I remember working in the South. I was on a job and I entered a meeting room and it was myself and several men. Every man in that room stood up when I entered the room and I thought, wow, this is cool. I guess I have to come to the South
Right.
to have this happen.
Right.
If you're at a large party, absolutely not. If you're at a smaller party, let's say you're having a party of 10, 12, 10 for sure. Everyone should stand up when a new guest walks in the room.
So men and women should stand up.
Yes, I mean, that's what I do. My last position when I was working at Best Buy, was at the photo studio. And I remember being in meetings there, and other people would come over and they'd enter a conference room. And those meetings were always about, 7 people or so. I always stood up when someone walked in the room.
That's
And
awesome.
I don't think anyone else noticed, and then you reach out, shake their hand, and tell them, what a pleasure it is to see them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not really a peeve, but I want to ask. Men opening car doors for women.
Yeah, that hasn't happened much for me. But I think when it does happen, it's a really nice gesture.
Yeah.
And I think men tend to do that when they're initially maybe dating,
Gotcha.
and they might light someone's cigarette for them, all those things.
Yep.
And
yep.
now they're just like, yeah, there's the car door, get in. Yeah. So I think our generation is just so different
Yep.
from the new generation now.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
so different. And then I've made a few faux pas myself. And this is just aside. I was on a private jet for another company, and we were going down south, and there were 2 men and myself, and we're in the airplane. And it was the first voyage of this airplane. First flight.
Maiden voyage.
Maiden voyage. Thank you. And I said, well, I want to play stewardess. And my mother was a stewardess, so I like to use that word.
Yeah.
And
You've earned it. You come by it honestly.
yeah, thank you. So I remember getting up, and because there was, no other staff on the plane except the pilot and co-pilot. And it was a huge, huge bowl of spaghetti plate with a spaghetti sauce in the middle. I mean, it was really well put together. And I said, I'm going to serve this.
What a terrible choice to serve on the jet, though.
I know, isn't that weird?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got up, went to get it. I'm coming back. Each guy's sitting on one aisle and upside down.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and they go, oh, that's good, Diane. That's good. So we all make faux pas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Can I ask you about a common circumstance?
Yeah.
So you're invited to a party, and the host or hostess says, please, no gifts.
Great question.
What do we do?
First of all, when I have a party, everyone says, what can I bring?
Right.
What can I bring? And I always say, please don't bring anything. But people want to bring things.
They do.
So going back a minute, I still tell people, because I have my menu planned, I have my liquor plan, my beverages, or whatever I'm going to be serving.
Can I just say, of course you do?
So it is done.
Yep.
And it is on time, and no one's waiting. What I like to do is say, please don't bring anything. If they insist, a guest should bring, because they want to all the time, either a bottle of wine or a piece or food, because a lot of times, but it won't be eaten at your party.
Right.
Expect that it will not be eaten at your party. But I expect hostess gifts sometimes, because it depends on the party. If I say, no, please don't bring anything, to me, it's just innate. You carry something in with you.
Right.
So if you say no gifts, I would hope that people don't bring a gift.
Right.
But a small, sometimes I've gotten, like $2 candles from Home Goods.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the cost, but it's such a nice gesture. So when I came today, of course, your staff is the most important, and I wanted to make sure they were taken care of.
And in you walk to the studio with lovely gifts for each of them. So so charming, and you had them eating out of your hand in
Oh,
seconds. That's
well,
why
they're
you have the good
awesome.
lighting. That's why you have all the good stuff today. Oh, that's so funny. Um, I think that's really helpful because I think that's real common. Because people say don't bring a gift. I don't like to bring food, so I'll bring a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I think that
Or
is perfectly appropriate. Just don't expect it to be opened
yeah, yeah.
at your
And depending on
party.
the guest list, I might bring a bottle of Grey Goose
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
something,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Oh, yes. I brought stuffed blue cheese olives that you can have at any time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to have three in a
Hmm.
martini. I'm just saying. Do you know why you have to have three? Do you have a number for your olives in your martini?
I think three is a great number because I love olives.
My grandfather gave me that. He'd always have a martini. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Three olives. Anything, an even number was inviting the devil into your drink.
Oh, that is
It was,
good.
yeah. So it is so ingrained in me. I always have three olives.
Of course.
Always.
And you're Irish.
Of course. So absolutely. Um, I'm going to go back to one of my peeves, and I really want
Yes,
your
let's talk about
thought
that.
on it. Um, Handwritten thank you notes, digital thank you notes, a text. What's appropriate? Does it matter?
Great question. I think there was a time we only did handwritten thank you notes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is still an amazing gesture because nobody expects them.
Right, right.
What? I got this written thank you note? Saying thank you anyway is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a text, an email, I think all of that is very appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't value one over the other, although you think,
Well, I think we're in a digital age now.
yep, yep.
So I think with that said, we have to like just go with modern technology. But I mean, there's nothing like a handwritten note.
I I I happen to agree.
Yeah.
I love a handwritten
Yeah.
note. Um, and I think we do have to make room for the technology that's so embedded in everyone's lives
Yeah.
today.
So embedded.
But say something. Reach out somehow,
Oh.
some way.
And maybe it's, the next morning because the host or hostess is still busy
Yep.
with their guests or cleaning up.
Yeah.
Absolutely could wait till the next day if that's how you're going to approach it.
Over the years, I'm going to give you one of my examples that it still resonates. And I want to be careful because I don't want to indict anybody directly. Uh, I would bring, since Sue passed away, I would bring, some of my boys would bring a friend on a spring trip with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one friend come along, and I was happy to have them, very fond of this person. Um, Never talked to the parents before we went. I'm like, do your parents know where you're going? I mean,
So you didn't talk to the parents?
and they didn't talk to me. I called,
Oh,
but didn't get a return call.
okay.
And then afterwards, we had this fabulous Caribbean vacation. Never heard from the parents. Never heard from the young man. And I thought that was, and I still remember this all these years later.
Isn't that something? And there are people out there like
Yeah.
that.
And I know I sound petty. I sound petty.
No,
I'm just raising it because I can tell you, I could list for you 25 beautiful thank you notes I've gotten from people
nice.
that I really, really appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you about one, and I'm not doing this to be heavy. So, as you know, my wife Sue had a long battle with breast cancer.
Yes.
And her doctor, her oncologist, who she loved, we fired her first one. The one she landed with, she loved, and I think he kept her alive a long time.
Awesome.
And he wrote me the most beautiful condolence card, and he sent it 6 months after Sue died, after all the noise had settled down. And it's real and you know from hard things you've been through, at the beginning, there's lots of people there saying, how are you? How are you? How are you? And then after a short while, you're supposed to say, yeah, we're getting better. You know, we're getting better. 6 months later, he sent this note and it was beautiful, brought tears to my eyes. And I just thought it was such an deft touch,
Mhm.
such a deft touch. So people, send a note, send a text, send something,
Absolutely.
send
On
something.
on the other side, when you give, you can't expect to receive.
No, that's
And
right.
you and I
That's right.
both know that.
We do
We're
know that. See, so I'm a jerk for remembering the
No,
note.
it's okay. But I get it. And I think we all get it. I like to think of myself as a generous person,
Yeah, you are.
but I don't expect anything in
Right.
return.
I give because it fills me up.
Mhm.
I'm happy to do it.
Exactly. I
And
love that.
for our audience, I wasn't being petty when I brought up the example of no thank you note. I have
That's
I have a manners expert here. So
I think that was very legitimate to bring up,
okay, thank you.
particularly the parents.
Yeah.
But you just don't know what page everyone's on.
Yeah, that's true. I think
Yeah.
that's really, really fair.
Absolutely.
Do you have things like if you see somebody actively demonstrating poor manners,
Hmm.
does it irritate you? Does it, you take note?
I would take note, and that would often be because really they don't know that. I mean, it might be something really basic. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, basic, like a coaster, like I said earlier. I felt like a troglodyte sitting
Yeah.
here, no coaster.
So there are certain things like that. But what I always love to do is when I have guests, my guests do not clean, they do not pick up, they
Yeah.
do not do anything. And they always say, let me help, let me help. And I say, no, this is my job.
Right.
You're my guest.
Yeah.
So
And has anybody ever found themselves off a legendary Lady Di party, because they've had bad manners and you're like, I just don't think I'm going to do that.
that's a great question.
No, yeah, we want to get to the news here.
Uh,
I won't ask who, but I'm
no,
curious
and I would never mention names.
because it would be bad manners.
So I did have a party, not, well, in about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I like to put parties together where a lot of people don't know each other,
Yeah.
all walks of life, but it was a very upscale party. And unbeknownst to me, because there were maybe 70 people at the party, two people got in a conversation that didn't go well. And I didn't know it at the time. I would be walking by, but I had so many people to deal with. And then at the end of the night, one of the parties left. And of course, didn't say anything to me other than thank you for the party and goodbye. The other party said, you're not going to believe what happened. So when I think about, oh my gosh, what did you say?
Right.
What did you say? Because I was thinking someone else would say something,
Right.
because they don't have a filter or,
Right.
go gently into the good night. So that might give me pause
Mm-hmm.
to invite that person back.
Yeah.
It probably would. I might not invite either of them back.
Right.
Because it was such an odd experience.
Right. Maybe a red card for both of them.
Yeah. Because at the same time, you're at a party, people are having fun.
Yep.
You have to be open to all kinds of conversations.
Yep.
And it wasn't even a political topic.
Yeah.
So, but not everyone meshes the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wonder if anybody's ever been persuaded politically at a cocktail party.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And if they're talking about politics at
Yeah.
a cocktail party,
yeah, and that's
they're in the wrong spot.
I think you're 100% right. Do you have any other pet peeves you want to be sure to mention, or common things you see?
Um, Parents not reinforcing manners
Mm-hmm.
with their kids. And because I'm a copter,
Yep.
I hover over those grandkids and I'm like, okay. And then sometimes I just let it go and go, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just in general, if parents don't have the social graces, their children will never learn them.
That's
And
right.
there are people out there. And also, social graces mean different things to different people. It
Mm-hmm.
could be your culture, your family tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important to remember. So, what I might perceive as different
Mm-hmm.
or wrong or bad might be okay in their family
Right.
for many reasons.
Right. Right.
So, you have to look at the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think, it seems to me you're the pro. You can't outsource it. It's only thing that's going to stick is what you're reinforcing at home.
Right.
Right.
And that's why I think, to your point, parents could use some
Oh,
classes.
I think a parent-child might be an interesting.
Everyone suggested everything to me. We need this, we need that, we
Right.
need that. And I'm
Right.
like, well, I'm retired. I just want to work
When you want to work.
which isn't right now. I'm taking the summer off.
Good for you. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
And will you go back to this work?
I will. Measured,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I want to. I mean, I'll be going back in September. So when people notify me, and again, if it's a business or a family, but I put a lot of work into it. I didn't know how much work it really involved because there's the whole setup, there's the mindset, I have to read that room in 1 minute when those kids come.
Yeah.
And when siblings sit next to each other,
Trouble.
and it's like having three gangs. You've got the little rascals come in and they're from one neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then you've got three girls from another neighborhood. You've got some kids over here from another neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they want to sit together.
Of course.
And I don't want to disrupt what makes them feel comfortable,
Right.
but it makes it a little challenging.
Mm-hmm. I suspect that you do all right.
Yeah,
in
it goes
that
okay.
role. Yeah.
And then what's really fun for the kids at the end, I always have paper plates. And we learn how to walk around the room. So we have our posture, gain confidence, but most important, learn how to walk slower. So we do and they love the paper plate thing. They just think that's a gas. Can I take this home? I'm like, absolutely. So we'll do that for about 5 minutes.
Work off a little energy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
They're ready.
That's awesome. And we're going to tag all of that because people are going to want to know how to get a hold of you, I think.
Well, thank you.
Can we just, before we wrap up, can we talk a little bit about the advice column you did? I think that's so interesting.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So, a man that I've known for years, he is now since deceased, was the editor of the Valley News and Views in Drayton, North Dakota. Well, he and I dated off and on since college. And when we weren't dating, we remained really, really close friends. So he approached me. Now, at the time, I was very busy in my career about writing a weekly advice column. And he helped name it Dear Lady Di, Sound Answers for Your Daily Dilemmas.
That's awesome.
And gave me a quarter page.
Wow.
Which is a lot to write.
You bet it is.
So I had a specific email address, and people would write me. And it was really fun and just really enjoyable being able to help people or give them advice. But there was a lot of tongue in cheek in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like my mother-in-law comes over all the time. My neighbor comes over all the time. What do you suggest? Right. So you could throw some color in there.
Yeah.
And shut that garage door now.
Right away.
Pull those drapes.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And there were serious things. And What's cool is my audience was Pembina County in North Dakota. So that's a pretty rural county. I mean, it's from Drayton and the Red River Valley
Mm-hmm.
up to the border to Canada. So you've got an amalgamation of people. You've got farmers, you have Mennonites, you have all sorts of people in there. So it was really
Mm-hmm.
cool.
And interesting note for our audience, I think, doesn't the Red River flow south to north?
Yes.
It does. It's one of just a few rivers in the world that
Yes.
do that.
And I was there during the flood.
I was a district manager for Best Buy going up to Fargo during a flood. And it was insane.
Oh, yeah. Grand Forks was worse. But Fargo, yeah. The dikes and.
Yep.
But yeah, there was a 97 flood. It was bad.
Yeah.
That dates me, but yeah.
Well, you were probably,
Yeah.
what, 4 or 5? It's fine. Is there anything else that you feel like we should mention about your Miss Manners life?
I think it's
Ask
interesting.
Lady Di. I
Yeah.
should be clear not to
Lady
approach
Di.
on Miss Manners.
I think it's interesting. There's a kind of a correlation between my newspaper column, Dear Lady Di, when I was writing that,
Mm-hmm.
and then doing manners, etiquette, and dining decorum,
Mm-hmm.
because it all kind of feeds into each other about giving advice, but these are suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Everything needs to be approached in my world as a suggestion, not you have to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
This is what I would do. So I think with that said, it's a suggestion.
Yeah.
Because people will do what they want to do, but they enjoy learning some new things to show off to their parents.
For sure, for certain. I also think it's what you're teaching is much more than manners and etiquette. It's a presence. It's being comfortable in any room, and it will serve you and your children very, very
Oh,
well.
well said. And especially, I'm teaching these children how to introduce themselves to someone.
Right,
And what do you say after that?
right.
Some of them have never shaken a hand before. And how you can do it casually with this person, or if you're meeting someone for the first time, like an adult,
Mm-hmm.
show them what a big kid you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one day when you're interviewing for roles, and it's going to serve you very
Oh,
well.
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Di, I think this work is fascinating,
Thank
and
you.
I feel like I understand you so much better now, and I'm so impressed by it all. I really
Well,
am.
and I always want to point out, I'm not a judgmental person.
Yeah.
This is just a niche
Yeah,
where I find myself comfortable.
I think that's a bit of an understatement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate it, and I should mention to our audience, we're going to do a second episode with Diane tonight, where she's going to talk about some other things, and I think it will be powerful and very interesting. Di, I really want to thank you for this episode. It was great. We're going to tag all the places where people can find you,
Thank you.
because I think you have lots of contributions to make.
No, I appreciate it. It was my pleasure being here, and especially meeting your staff too.
Well, I feel the same way. I love coming in and seeing them. Don't get big heads about that, everybody. That's it for this episode of the most important podcast ever. I want to thank Diane Field, who gave so freely of her time and drove up here a couple hours to appear live with us, and it just made the whole episode, in my view. And I especially want to thank you, our loyal audience who tune in week after week. I hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, when you do, please share it with somebody that might find it interesting. And we all know somebody that could use a little tune-up. And we'll see you again soon.